Hi, I'm Jess and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be teaching you how you can create all of your content for the summer so that you don't have to be constantly creating content. You can sit back and relax with your family and your friends whilst your content is being published automatically. Now, this is called content batching. And as an entrepreneur, you might decide that over summer or over Christmas or over a specific period in time, you just don't want to be in this content creation mood. A lot of times entrepreneurs create content week by week, which for some cases that works and it works well. But sometimes you just want to take a step back from staring at your computer or being on your phone, and you want to just enjoy being with your family or being with your friends without worrying that, will this affect my online business? So in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to content batch. Content batching is very simply creating a whole bunch of content up front and then posting it week by week so that you consistently have valuable content being published to your audience, but you're not creating it on the go and on the fly. One of my favorite analogies about content batching is it's like when you go to bake cookies. You never just bake one cookie, you bake a batch, because then you can eat them throughout the week. You don't just bake a cookie every single day, you bake a lot and then eat them throughout the week. It saves you time, you have consistent cookies and you're consistently happy. With content batching, you actually create your content, your captions, you choose what time you're going to post everything. You do everything up front, and it just gives you that peace of mind knowing that your online business is still being visible. You're still out there, you're still showing up, you're just not doing it, in real time. For example, you could spend an hour writing 5 blogs and then you'll have a blog a week for the next 5 weeks already created. So you're at peace knowing that you have educational content going out there and being published, but you're not actively writing those blogs each and every week. You've already prepped it in advance. What I find is when I try and think about content on the day, it leaves me just posting something that I've just come up with in the moment. And it's not really truly as helpful as I want it to be. But when I've planned out my content, I know exactly what I'm going to talk about, who it's helping, and how it's going to help someone learn something new. So this is my 7-step process that's going to help you create your summer's worth of content so that you can sit back, relax, travel, go to the beach, do whatever you want without worrying about showing up on social media. Step 1 is to decide the time frame so you know how many pieces of content you actually need to go and create. Open up a Google Doc and label it summer content or Christmas content or whatever you want to name it. And then you're going to write down the dates that you want to create content for. This is going to help you stay focused and just know this is what I want to create, okay? Next is to write down the types of content you want to create. So I have YouTube, which is a video, podcast, that's audio, Instagram posts, which are visual / graphics, emails, which is written. So for this period of time, these are the things that I want to create up front. Now, disclaimer, with Reels and TikToks, I know that there are trends that go around and trends last a week and then they go into the distance. So with quick content like that, I will be creating TikToks as, I'm traveling or as I'm out and about. But for me, that doesn't feel like I need to sit down and like plan it out and make it, and spend energy into it. That's just something I like to do, and it's fun for me, and it's fun just to, bring awareness to teachers in business. So I'm not going to plan my TikToks and Reels for that reason, that there's always a new trend to like catch up on. So I am going to create those on the fly. But these are the things that are my educational, like really valuable content that I want to put as much effort in as possible so that my audience can really benefit from them. Next, I'm going to decide how many of each I want to create. So for YouTube, I want to stay consistent and I want to post week by week. So that's going to be 12. The same for my podcast. Instagram posts, I want to post probably 2 a week, and these 2 are probably going to be like infographics, and I'll give you an example of what I mean, or like quotes or something like that. And then if I do have any pictures that I take, or I just want to upload them sporadically, I can do that, throughout the summer. 24 Instagram posts and then 24 emails. So that's step one done. Step two is to decide what products or services you have on offer over this time period. Because remember, as a business owner, you obviously have something really great that you want to sell and you want to continually sell. So this could be a lesson package, it could be a course that you have, it could be a digital product that you have, a resource. It doesn't matter. You just want to be clear on what's going to be available, what people can actually purchase from you. And why this is important is it's going to make sure that your content is relevant to what your business actually helps people achieve. So what do I have available? The first thing I have available is my Your Way program, which is my heart and soul. I love that program. The other thing I have is my monthly membership, which is the Academy. I have that, and that's like ongoing. And I also will have available the Teacherpreneur Business Bootcamp. So those things are the things I have on offer. Step three is deciding what type of content you are going to be talking about. And you can do this by having different content buckets based on what you're selling, what your expertise are, what your niche is, what your industry is. And it's making sure that every piece of content that you put out has a purpose and an intention. You're not posting things that are just irrelevant to your business and growing your business. For example, I'm not going to post a podcast about how to cook a vegan chicken parm. Like, that's something I'm interested in, but it's not what my audience is interested in, and it's not related to anything that I'm selling or anything I can help someone with. So you want to make sure that your content is really, really focused on your industry and your niche, and make sure that it all makes sense together. You know, everything wants to blend in, everything wants to be related and connected. And how we do that is creating content that is relevant. So choosing your content themes. You might have heard these be called content themes, content buckets, content pillars. All it is what you're going to talk about within your content. So I have some ideas for you as a teacher. My first idea is content that builds value, building value / educating. So this type of content is going to educate your audience. They're going to learn something new from it. And what this does is show you as the professional and show you as the expert in this area of business. So for example, a lot of my content is about courses and how to create courses and the value of courses and educating about courses. That's because that's what I know a lot about. That's why I have a full program about it, and that's what I'm selling. So it would be irrelevant for me to be talking about building a TPT store in my content, but then selling a program on how to create your own course, because those things, they don't match up and it's a disconnect. So you want to make sure your content has a direct connection to the thing that you're selling. So the first type of content is building value and it's educating your audience. The second type of content is going to be connecting and relatable types of content. This content is about your teacher brand, so it's things that it's like your values and your beliefs. And the third type of content is going to be selling, so talking about the things that you have on offer. So let me do this as an example for if you are selling a music course for toddlers. Okay, so this is what you're selling over the summer, let's say. So how can I build value and educate around this topic? So I could talk about different instruments. I could talk about why learning through music is important. I could give tips for parents with toddlers. I could teach people how to DIY instruments at home, like the best songs to improve motor skills. I could educate on activity ideas for parents, music and song games at home. So you're thinking of things that you know a lot about and you can educate in. This is your free content. This is the stuff that's building that value of why it's important for toddlers to learn through music, or why it's important to learn with your child. You know, you're building up that value around what it is that you are the expert in, you know, what you're doing with your business. So that's the first type of content bucket. The second one is connecting relatable types of content. It's about you and like your teacher brand and your values. So straight up, it could be what you've been up to as a music teacher. It could be about the behind the scenes of building your course or life as a music teacher. If I created this course and I had my own toddler, I could talk about, you know, how I teach music at home, teaching experience I have. I could talk about problems with toddlers, like, you know, not sitting still for a long period of time, or how to engage toddlers. It's that relatable content. You want, you know, parents to visit your social media and think, oh, like, she gets me, she understands that it's really hard to get your toddler to focus at home. So it's that type of content that's making you relatable. Of course, this is just an example, but if you have a music course for toddlers, you're welcome. Now the third type is selling, and selling is not only this is my course and this is how much it is, it's also about helping your audience understand that what you have is worth it, that what you have is valuable and is helpful. And we can do this by sharing with our audience, you know, why it's important to learn music, why it's important to learn music, or why it's important for toddlers to learn music, benefits of your course. You could give feedback and testimonials. You could even talk about the convenience of learning online. Okay, so once you've got that down, step 4 is to research what other people in your industry are doing, are talking about, what's popular. You can use Answer the Public or Google Trends to see what's going on and what people are actively asking about. That's going to help you create relevant content as well. Then step 5 is to actually make your plan. So you're going to write week 1 at the top of your page, and then whatever the week commencing is. So for me, it's going to be week commencing the 30th of May. And every week I want a YouTube video, I want to put out a podcast, email 1, email 2, IG post, IG post 1, IG post 2. So that's my plan, and that's what's going to be put out on week 1. So you might be thinking at this point, Jess, that's you know, a lot of content for me to be creating up front right now. And I'm going to show you a little trick that I like to do. It's not really a trick, it's just making sure that what you are putting out there is reaching as many people as possible. And the way that you can do that is turning one piece of content into 4 different types of content. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to decide what my YouTube video is for the week. I'm going to stick with this same example, and I'm going to put 4 best nursery rhymes for toddlers. So that's going to be my YouTube video. Then I'm going to pick my podcast episode, and I'm going to go back and look through my research and look through the content buckets that I put out there. And my podcast this week is going to be 5 benefits of using nursery rhymes with your child. So that's kind of aiming at the parents. So now I have those 2 things, and they're so valuable, but is everybody going to watch the YouTube video? No. Is everyone going to listen to the podcast? Probably not. So what you have to do is make sure that each piece of content is distributed in the most effective way possible. And how we can do this is, now my first email is going to be about the 4 best nursery rhymes for toddlers, and I'm going to have the link to go and see to go and watch the YouTube video. So although it's going to be published on YouTube and people can see it on YouTube, not everyone is going to want to sit down and watch. Some people prefer to read the 4 best nursery rhymes. Some people prefer to listen to the 4 best nursery rhymes. So that's what my first email is going to be about. My second email is going to be the 5 benefits of using nursery rhymes with your child. Now, of course, you can name them different things. Like this email 2, I'd probably name it, this is the most beneficial way of using nursery rhymes, or did you know this benefit of using nursery rhymes at home, or do you use nursery rhymes with your child? Here's why you should. Obviously I name them different things, but the topic and the theme is the same. And I'm going to do the same for the Instagram post, but on the Instagram post I'll probably share, this is the best nursery rhyme for toddlers. If you want to see more, here's my YouTube video. Or here is the #1 benefit of using nursery rhymes with your child. Check my podcast to listen to the rest. You're leading into your most valuable piece of content, and you can choose whether that is going to be YouTube or podcast or TikTok. You know, it doesn't really matter where it is, as long as you're distributing it in as many places as possible. So I'm not necessarily creating 6 new pieces of content each and every week. I'm creating 2 very valuable pieces of content and then distributing them over different types of platforms. Do this with each of your weeks and each of your pieces of content. Remember to go back and look at these content buckets to make sure that you are covering all the different areas. Once you've made your plan, step 6 is to create and execute. So you want to make sure that you are scripting your podcast, recording your podcast, scripting your YouTube video, recording your YouTube video. So you want to make sure that you are doing those steps, but the great thing is you have a plan that's very specific and you know exactly how many pieces of content that you want to create. Now the 7th step, which is the most important step, is you want to make sure you are automating the upload and the publish of these pieces of content. So on YouTube, when you upload your video, you can schedule it to go out at a specific time. The same thing for publishing a podcast. I use Anchor and you can just schedule it at the time that you want it to go out. For Instagram posts, I recommend using a program called Later, and you can upload your content on there and drag it to the time you want it to upload, and it will automatically publish at that time. For your emails, depending on what email marketing software that you're using, you'll be able to publish them at a specific time as well. I personally use Kartra and it looks like this. I can just click what time I want it to go out to my audience and it will automatically do that. But this is the key to make sure that you are producing and publishing that consistent content. If right now you're not making as many sales as you want to in your online business, I want you to know that it's not your lessons or your product or your course that's the problem. That's not the thing that's not working. The disconnect that I've seen with so many teachers is how they are showing up and communicating the value of what they have available, how they're talking about their products and services within their content. But once you learn this key communication skill, you'll see a massive increase in interest in your products and services. Imagine the feeling of having the confidence to show up and talk about your product or service without getting the ick. Or how great it would feel to have your audience know you, like you, and trust you, so that when you do bring out a new digital product or a new course or service, they are there waiting eagerly to buy it. I know there is so much advice out there for teacherpreneurs and teacher business owners about what content you should create, what strategy you should have, what services you should sell, how many times you need to post. But the truth is, none of that matters without these 3 things. The first thing is having the ability to talk to your audience confidently, knowing that your product or service is going to help them. The second thing is showing up in a way that's aligned to you. If you're producing content that doesn't feel good for you, it's not going to help your audience see the value of what you have. And the third thing is knowing how to market yourself successfully as a teacherpreneur. I know you have a passion to succeed as a teacherpreneur, and the more that we ignore that we need to sell or we need to talk about our product or service, the more that we're going to ignore the fact that that's how we're going to make an income. I know you're working hard as a teacherpreneur, but I want you to decide that these next few months is when you're going to thrive and when you're really going to step into this teacherpreneur that's making the income that you deserve and you entered this business world to be able to achieve. I'm going to train a group of bootcamp members who are going to learn how to make more impact by making more sales. Within this teacher Teacherpreneur Business Bootcamp, this group of people are going to learn 3 very specific skills. The first one is learning how to harness the power of your teacher brand, how to authentically show up as yourself so that you relate and connect and be a magnet to the right kind of audience. We'll define the things that you're going to talk about within your content to make sure that you're showing up with that purpose and intention. Within this one specific training, you're going to come up with an abundance of content ideas that will leave your audience thinking, how can I not buy from them? This is exactly what I need. The second training is going to teach you how to use social media specifically to connect and attract the right kind of people. And the third training, which is my favorite, and it's called the magic of selling, and I'm going to teach you how to sell confidently without the ick, without the sleaze. It will take you from thinking, oh, selling, to yes, selling. It will make you feel proud of the product or service that you have. You'll walk away from this training feeling at ease about showing up and selling. This specific training will break down selling beliefs. It's going to teach you new ways to sell, including non-verbal ways, as well as the formula to write sales content that you can use on your social media or your sales page or your website. These 3 trainings work together to make sure you are the most successful teacherpreneur that you can be this year. I'll leave the information about the bootcamp below if you do want to join us. I'm super excited for you to get started. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you are going to batch create some of your content. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will speak to you very soon. Bye!